Good evening. I'm gonna light a candle. We didn't do a live last week, did we? Because I was camping. Anyway, Tuesday night, back into routine. I'm just gonna light a candle. Set the mood, you know. Right, I can see her. She's online. I am going to invite Helen. Bear with me 1 second. So I need to do this. I need to invite. Right, Helen, I've invited you. Hopefully you will get this. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to this live. I see a clock. Are you going to make some fancy entrance?
Second.
She's going to make some fancy entrance, isn't she?
No, I've just got the camera the wrong way round.
Yeah, that helps.
Sarah, sorry.
Oh, I don't know. You want to see your face. We want to see your face.
Hold on, let me turn you up so I can hear you.
Right.
Hello.
Hi. This is exciting. Right. How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. Right. So can you see my face?
Yeah, I can see your face, but you're really quiet for some reason.
Oh, okay. Right. I don't want to put the camera any nearer to me because, you know, it's HD and all
No,
that.
I know. I don't think it's that. I think it might be my phone. Hold on. Let me join with my other phone, and can you drop out and drop in again? Is that all right? Hold on.
Can you leave?
You're loud on this one.
Okay.
Sorry. My phone. Hold on. If I drop out and then I go on with my louder phone, can you add me again? Is that all right?
Yes. Right. Okay.
Let's do that.
Let's do that then. Right. You've got to leave.
I am gonna.
Okay. I don't quite know how you do that, but hi everyone. So, excuse me while we just sort our shirt out. Helen's having some technical issues with her phone, so she is going to. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining. Oh, it's so nice to see everyone. Please say hi. Thanks. Hi, Becky. Hi, Sam. Hi, lovely. Hi, me and my leggings. Hello, love. Right, you've just been sent. Hey, Suzanne. Right, okay. Let's see if we are waiting for Helen. Ha ha.
That is better.
Is that better? Good. Right,
Yes.
okay. I'm slightly worried. I've got a candle lit, but I'm really worried that, you know, it might, you know, catch. So anyway, just mainly just keep an eye out for my hair, right?
Yeah, or trigger me, one or the other.
Yeah, well, I'll smell something. Right, okay, so this feels a bit formal, and like you and I are probably the least formal when it comes to chatting. But I think we're gonna rewind and go all the way back. Some people might know me, some people might know you. So shall we just spend 5 minutes introducing ourselves and what we're about?
Yeah.
You go first.
Okay. I'm Helen. I am in my early 40s. I like to say early 40s.
Why not?
Because it sounds better.
Just because it's factually correct.
I know, yeah, it's factually correct. I've been overweight all my life, and over the years felt worse and worse and worse about myself. But finally something clicked in September, and I've been on this journey now, and I'm nearly 7 stone down, and this whole life that's opened up to me is really amazing. And yeah, that's where I am at the moment, still going, still being patient, still putting the effort in every day, and just starting really now starting to see results. So that's a bit about me. 2 children. Well, I say children, one's 18 now. And I am a mum of an adult now with special needs. So he has autism, and I've got a daughter that's 10 who can have some challenging behaviours. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and not know where to start, and having to put everyone else before yourself, and just get lost, completely lost in that. And last year I did some thinking, and it just got to the point where I just started wanting to put myself first, and I just had enough. I'd had enough of being a victim to my own life, and I thought, well, nobody else can change it. So I started in September changing it myself, and then very quickly into my journey, I decided that I really needed some support, because I just felt really lonely, and I knew that I wasn't the only one doing this. So I'd done the one-to-one diet years ago, 2006, and I knew that it worked. I knew that it worked for me. But what I didn't have a clue about when I first contacted you was the whole support network and the community that has literally changed my life. So that's a bit about me.
We'll come back onto that in a minute. So for those of you that maybe have followed me for a little while and don't really know about me, or those who do, I'm sorry, I'm going to bore you again. I'm Jo. I'm in my mid-40s. And I've got 2 kids. So mid-40s, but I've got 2 young kids. I've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I started my journey into parenthood quite late. I was too busy partying, but you know, had to deal with a whole kind of new set of challenges, being in my 40s, having 2 really young kids, overweight with both my pregnancies, and those of you that might have seen me on the business opportunity meetings, I came into the diet not as a slimmer. I'd never heard of the one-to-one diet before I became a consultant. I had lost my weight on the very typical weight loss plans that you will be well familiar with, the group things that you go on and everyone claps or, you know, sobs and puts your arms around you, those kind of situations. And it was really frustrating. I hated it. It was so inconvenient. I had 2 young kids, didn't want to go at 7 o'clock in the evening to get weighed, all that stuff. So I did lose my weight. It took me a long time to lose a small amount of weight in relation to, I had 3 stone, so it was quite a big deal for me. I had 3 stone to lose, but it took a really long, frustrating journey, and I hated the whole process. And I couldn't get my head around the concept of some of the things that you're able to do on those plans. So anyway, I found the one-to-one diet because I ultimately needed to earn a little bit of extra money on the side whilst I had another job. And I heard something recently, and I'm going to shamelessly nick it. And I heard, I started this with my head, but my heart has taken over. And that is the best way to describe how I feel about the one-to-one diet. I think whatever you do in your life, you have to love it in order to succeed. And whether that's love the diet and be a slimmer on plan, or even as a consultant, but I absolutely love this. And what I did not truly understand or recognize, the support, like you said, Helen, like what the satisfaction that you get from being a consultant, and what a humbling experience it is when you get slimmers like Helen, like anyone else, who say that, you know, they needed the support and that they found it so overwhelming how amazing it is. We do that, and that's such an amazing feeling, and it's so nice when someone kind of like considers you, you know, an integral part of their journey. It's very humbling, very humbling. So there are loads and loads of people that have joined, and please ask us any question. So anything that you want to find out about me or Helen. So Helen, I want to kind of like take it back a little bit and ask you about kind of where what was it, that light bulb moment? What was it that made you click, and why, if you can go into detail about why you chose specifically the one-to-one?
Mm-hmm. Well, it had been coming for a couple of years, and I was just falling deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole. And it was literally a case of, this is last chance saloon now. This is, I either put my all into it or I might as well give up. You know, when you have got a lot of weight to lose, and even if you haven't got a lot of weight to lose, you know, if you have a problem with your weight, it can be all encompassing. And it was for 10 years, at least 10 years of my life, it ruled every waking thought, everything. And it just ruled my life. And it was to the point where I wasn't suicidal, because I'm not, you know, that isn't in my psyche. I'm very fortunate that it isn't. But it was literally a case of, I have to do something now, or I just give up, because
So a
this
form
is
of
not,
depression?
Probably, and a form of being overwhelmed and having no control over anything around me. And I try and control other things in my life, but until I got this under control, it turns out that I couldn't control anything else, because I didn't have the mental headspace to deal with anything else, because it's just all consuming. And when you're telling yourself negative thoughts constantly, how, you know, why can't I do it? Why can't I just eat like everyone else? Why can't I just live a life like everyone else? What is wrong with me? You know, I'm not stupid. I'm not, you know, I like to think I'm an intelligent person. And it just, you think to yourself, I cannot do it anymore. I cannot feel this horrible about myself anymore. And it was sort of like I sort of just was like, right, that's it now. Enough. It's just enough. And yeah, I started the journey by myself, and soon realized that it was just, I just felt so alone, and it felt like such a long, hard slog on my own. And I've obviously followed you, and I followed other people on Instagram, and I sort of, you know, brushed it to the side. I'm on my journey, it's fine. I was going to the gym 4 days a week, doing aqua 4 days a week, absolutely busting my balls. Because when you are a high weight, you're doing aqua 4 or 5 times a week, it's hard work, you know, and I couldn't maintain a balance. So I was doing what I thought was right for my body and for myself, but I was that knackered that I couldn't clean the house. I was that knackered that I couldn't, you know, do the other things that I needed to do. So the balance wasn't right. So I've been watching everybody on Instagram, and I particularly was drawn to you, obviously because you're lovely, and that you'd got it with the exercise. I think, were you training for a marathon then, or you had trained for a marathon? Or
Just done the marathon.
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, so I wanted to still carry on the exercise, but I wanted to feel better. And I remember the first consultation with you, it was never about losing weight for me. It was about feeling better, you know, feeling better within myself. I was desperate not to hate myself anymore. And I needed help to, you know, get there.
Yeah, it's also this kind of like, you know, which we've touched on loads of times about exercise and being on a diet. You've got to make sure actually there was a point where that you weren't eating at the right time of day, because actually what was happening is that when you were doing your aquafit, you were coming out there feeling really dizzy but not eating straight away because you were restricting yourself for calories. And actually it's about kind of figuring out, well, when you know your body, your blood sugars are dropping when you've just done exercise, and your muscles are depleted, and you need to restore that energy, and you need to eat within ideally 30 minutes of exercise. So it's just having that conversation of kind of, right, really, and this is why the one-to-one is so good. And this is why, you know, for everybody out there that might be considering about the one-to-one diet and said, oh, can you just send me the prices? Everybody can send you the prices, but the prices doesn't really get to the crux. Well, it doesn't get to the crux about you you as a slimmer, you know, Helen likes to swim 4 times a week. You know, maybe Susan, she does yoga, or, you know, everyone is completely different. So it's so important to get that consultation in. It's free of charge. There's no obligation to continue the conversation. But what it helps as a consultant, trying to get into the crux of the slimmer and what is best for them, we can then understand your lifestyle. So yes, I can send you the price list, but I was like, oh, I'm not paying that much. Well, you might not need to pay that much, because A, you might not be eligible for that step, and B, it might not even be suitable for you. So before you dismiss something on price alone, cat's going to burn its bum, before you dismiss it on just based on price, it really is worth just having a conversation, because you might not need to pay that price, you know, at all.
Watch her nose, Bella. Her nose, Bella.
Literally playing with fire. It's just so important. And like, you know, there are so many amazing consultants out there, and each consultant brings their own little thing to the table, whatever that thing is, you know, whether it's someone who, you know, I know that you in particular really are interested in supporting those with high BMIs. You can relate to it, you know, you are, you know, almost 7 stone loss, and you know, you've got, you know, more to go on your journey. That makes you relatable to so many simmers out there, potential simmers out there. You know, what I offer is something completely different to you. We're still great in our field, and it's just finding that consultant who you're going to get well with, you're going to have a rapport. It also requires honesty and to be open, and, you know, because we're here to help to support you and guide you on your journey, but we can only do that if the slimmer's being honest. And there's no shame in saying, I've had a rubbish week, I've done this, you know, but expect for the consultant to come back and question it. Have you done this? Have you thought of doing this? Or, you know, just not to challenge, but to kind of like, you know, because that's our role as consultants. It's our role. You know, you're on the diet, you're spending money. Don't waste this opportunity. You know, so it's really important.
Yeah, that's one of the first thing I say to my slimmers, is that I want to hear more from you when it's not going well, because that's what I'm here for. You know, I love celebrating your losses, and I love cheering you on. But what I'm really here for, and what the difference is between our plan and me and other plans, is that I'm here, and I'm here to solve problems, and I'm here to get you through these sticky patches, because that's the difference between success and failure, basically. And I want to hold your hand through them just as much as, you know, celebrating your successes, because we all have them.
It's like kids, you know, when kids go quiet, you think, uh-oh, something's up, why are they so quiet? You know, it's the same.
You do, you know.
Yeah, you know. Tell me what steps you've been on throughout your weight loss journey.
So to begin with, I started on step
3.
I
know this, by the way, because I put you on them, but you know what I mean.
To begin with, I started on step 3. I did really well on that. But then a life event happened that I'm sure we'll go into. And I stayed on step 3 for a while, and then I moved house. So when I moved house and my BMI was under 50, I decided to go on step 1B.
Whoa. Can we rewind back? What happened the day before this big life event happened? What did you do the day before?
The day before this life event happened, I qualified to become a consultant. So that was the day before my life event. So
should we just put everybody out of suspense, and if you want to tell them what happened?
So where do I start? On the 2nd of February this year, my house burnt down, basically. Well, I don't want to be dramatic, only half of it burnt down. Okay, that
Still enough for it to be, yeah, that half. Still burnt down.
Yeah, so that was interesting. Where do I even start, Joe? We were literally myself, my husband, my 2 children, and my dog were left homeless and in a hotel. And it's been an interesting journey. But what I can say, and what I will seriously say, is that if I hadn't have started my journey in September and I'd have been last summer Helen and it had happened to, I'd have been really scared about where I was now. Okay. The support I received from you as a consultant, and I'm really serious here. I mean, you know, there's some of the conversations we had, from my dog eating broken glass on the floor to how best to make lasagna in those moments where, you know, anyway, let's not go there. But we have stop. But it was just like, and because the thing is that you can talk to your friends, and your friends love you and they care about you, and it's amazing, and that. But having a consultant there and it was more focused. It was literally, how can I explain it? It was somebody there that wasn't invested in everyone else. You were just there for me, and that's what I needed, because I had to be strong for everyone else. And we were in a hotel for 10 days, and then we were in temporary accommodation, which was absolutely awful, for 28 days. And lots of things happened with insurance companies, and it was the most challenging, heartbreaking, horrible time of my life. And one of my children lost everything, okay, in the fire. So to deal with all that, plus not knowing where to live, plus being put in temporary accommodation, that was absolutely awful. Your kids not being able to settle, you know, so all their behaviours changed. And it was a really challenging period of my life. And the one thing I could control was my diet. And I stuck to it all the way through. And I have done
100%. All
I never broke
the
it
way.
once.
Never broke it. We stepped up, we stepped down, we did things to change it, but you were always on plan. Always.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know, and it's like I was almost afraid to lose that, because it was the only thing I had left. It was the only thing I had left to get me to where I wanted to be, because all this turmoil that was happening, that was the only constant that I had. I had nothing else. I had nowhere to live. I had nothing. So, and, you know, I don't really, I really struggle with not knowing what's down the road, okay? I like to know what's happening. I like to be able to see into my future. I'm not very good at not knowing, and not knowing where you're going to live, and your home as you know it absolutely destroyed. Was really unsettling. And I don't know why, I'd like to say it's because I'm amazing and all the rest of it, and focused, but I think it was literally the point of that I had nothing else that I could control left. No. And I knew that wherever I ended up in 6 months' time, I wanted to be 6 months ahead. There was no negotiating about that. And I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to support people like you'd supported me. So whatever that was going on, I just knew that I had to get there. So that's why. So yeah, I stuck to step 3, even in a hotel, which was interesting.
Yeah, with no kitchen.
No kitchen, nothing. And I still lost. I mean, it did slow down a bit because I couldn't walk the dog as far, but I was still going. And then I had a bit of a sticky patch and a bit of a sort of, when I was in that temporary house, didn't I? I had a bit of a
Yeah.
a mini breakdown, and then but I still stuck to it. And then when I moved house, I wanted, my BMI was under 50, and I wanted to take away the planning of having to plan step 3 while I moved house.
Yeah.
So I went on to Far Products, and then absolutely flew at that.
We went Red One, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
and
Red
then
One?
plus 1 pint of milk.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you who might not know, if you've got a high BMI and you want to use products only, you might have a discussion with your consultant about red options, and that essentially means using products only by adding a pint of milk, etc., just to boost up your calorie intake. So you know, and then how many pints of milk you have, and that's included in teas and coffees, by the way. That's not just literally downing a pint of milk in cereal or whatever. Well, no, actually you can't have it in cereal.
I just had mine in tea. Just had mine in tea. It was fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So then I flew at that for, how long have we been here? Been here since March the 8th. And then, so that's a bit of my story. So in the end, because our house was rented, we were treated that badly that we decided to break away from the tenancy and took a massive risk and rented a beautiful property with a separate office that me and my husband are working from now. So that's what we decided to do, to give our children a home, because they wanted us to stay in a hotel for 2 months with 2 kids, one autistic kid and a dog. You know, just wasn't going to happen. So did that, and then last week I had another bit of a wobble, so I pulled you in closer again and had a moan. And I do this thing where I message Jo and then I'll go, oh, maybe I'll try this, maybe I'll try that, and she's like, Helen, just go, first of all, go and have something to eat and then come back and tell me, because I always do it when I'm hungry. And then I decided to go on step 2. So I've done step 2 and I've just lost 5.5 pounds. So it was time to mix it up again.
Boom. Boom. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, especially when your journey, you know, and this is again why it's such an individual, personalized journey, because each person are going to experience different life events, different traumas, different happiness, whatever, and there are things that are always going to challenge you on plan, you either dig deep and carry on, or you can use it as an excuse. And I don't want to say that lightly, because obviously, you know, there are massive traumatic things that go on in people's lives, and you know, I don't want to make light of that. You know, at the end of the day, it's always your personal choice what you choose to do. You know, it's your choice whether you choose to stick to plan because it is the thing that you control, or whether it's something that you just can't face. That's your decision. You know, there's no right or wrong way. All we're kind of demonstrating in that in some cases, and actually in most often cases, it's the thing that kind of creates a sense of calm amongst the chaos which is going round. Because, you know, when you are on a weight loss journey, you need calm, you need to know what you're doing, because you cannot wing it losing weight. You need that structure, you need that organization, and when that's gone as well, you will feel like you are literally on a, you know, Alice in Wonderland, down the kind of like, you know, and then God knows. So for the fact that you could pull it in and take the reins of whatever, you know, on your own journey is amazing. And you know, that's not going to happen to everybody, but it just shows that you are capable. We are capable of doing it. And Grace Marie she did a video the other day, I think actually, of when one of her slimmers reached her goal weight. And it was very much talking about you can only control what's going on right now. Everything else is out of your control. Life events that challenge us are out of our control. We cannot do anything about that. And if we stop every time those life events happen, we will never progress. They will challenge us, but they will make us stronger. And they will hopefully cement our feet further in our belief that what we need to do is going to help us get through this trauma. Because actually, when we're focusing on, you know, our weight loss journey because we're not happy, if we can concentrate on ourselves, it's like that, you know, oh gosh, it was someone else I was using it. I'm listening to so many different audiobooks, but basically when you're on an airplane, the first thing they say on the safety flight video is fix your own oxygen mask, then deal with someone else's. And that is the same thing. You know, when you're on your journey, you've got to fix yourself. Fix yourself, and then once you're fixing and fixed, then you can help other people. If you are broken, you are no use to anybody else. And that's why I guess drove you, because you needed to be strong for your family in that moment of time, because obviously you're not working and they rely on you and they need you. You know, what's the alternative?
Yeah, there was some really tricky times, and I really had to sit down with myself and think, what is the alternative? What is the alternative to now? And you play it forward, don't you? You think, you know, if I do this, this is what's going to happen, because oh my God, I'd done it so many, you know, past Helen had done it so many times before, press the self-destruct button and messed it all up. So, you know, I couldn't, and I was almost frightened to lose that control, if I'm completely honest, because I had no control over anything else. But what it has done, and what we've talked about before, is that to stay on plan through all that trauma has given me the belief in myself that I can get through absolutely anything. I can get through absolutely anything, and I will get through anything, and I'm going to reach goal. There's nothing at all that is going to stop me, because my house burnt down and that hasn't stopped me. So there's nothing, you know, yeah, God forbid, but there's nothing that will stop me getting to my goal, because that's, you know, and I've done certain, what I'm trying to say is that that's given me the confidence and the self-belief to change and not to need those unhealthy behaviours that I relied on to cope with my emotions before, because that's all I was doing. I was just numbing feelings with food. You know, I spent my life doing that, and I've just really had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and this is why I've started this new career as well, and this is why I'm sat on an Instagram live with you. It's terrifying, but I haven't got anywhere sitting in my comfort lane, my comfort zone. I've got absolutely nowhere doing that, and that's not me anymore. No. And that's not
you are putting your boundaries. Like every time I've asked you to do something, you go, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready. I don't know if I can do that. I'm not quite sure. I'm not. You can do it, and you do it, and you do it. You do it, and how liberating and how empowered do you feel once you've done it?
Yeah, amazing. And I know, like with my business, I would have never had the confidence to start a business before, and let alone only be halfway through my journey and be a diet consultant.
And that's such a myth, isn't it? So many, like, and you know, you're not the first of my slimmers to have had those doubts about wanting to become oh no, I'm not my goal weight yet. I'm not my goal. Trust me.
I know.
You do not need to be at your goal weight or even to have started your weight loss journey to be a consultant, you know, because like I said, there's a lid for every pot, and you know, you will always find slimmers who will relate to you. If they don't relate to you, then they were never going to be your slimmers on anyway. So you've not lost out on anything.
No.
It's just
I would say 50% of my slimmers come to me because, no, more than that. Anyway, a good proportion of my slimmers come to me because they can, you know, I can identify with them. I know the challenges that they face. I know what it feels like to be them that come in the first day and sit there, because I was there, and I know the complexities of losing that much weight because I've had to get my head around it. So hopefully I can support people getting their heads around it, and just making them believe that they can do it, because you can do it. You know, you really can do it. Yeah.
So like when you so you know, you're almost at a 7 stone loss.
1.5 pounds.
How much? 1.5 pounds.
1.5 pounds.
And you still on your journey. And what changes have you seen, old Helen versus new Helen? That you used to do that you don't do, and you don't do that you do.
Right. So used to do that I don't do. No, no.
Old habits you now don't, and new good habits that you didn't have the strength, courage, or physicality.
So in the summer, and this was part of why I started my journey as well. In the summer, I got a puppy, and I had this rose-tinted vision that getting a puppy would be amazing, and then I realised that I just couldn't walk him far enough. My feet hurt, my back hurt, and I thought, how, you know, and of course, you know, it's like...
This was 7 stone heavier than what you are now.
This was, and this was like, well, I'll want the puppy, So, and then I quickly realised that this wasn't enjoyable, and this wasn't the journey that I wanted to have with him. So that was, you know, and I walk miles with him now, miles and miles and miles. You know, I do probably 4 miles a day with him. Wow. And I love walking, and because I love nature, and that is just what I wanted to do. I wanted to get out more, so I spend a lot more time outdoors. I was talking to my friend who's lost a lot of weight as well the other day about the mental freeing of losing weight. So we were talking about booking tickets for the theatre. Now, before we would think about the size of the, well, I would anyway, when you were a lot overweight, you think about if your ass can fit in the seat, basically, and if you can take one of your children with you so you can spill over onto their side and not spill over onto anybody else's, etc, etc, etc. That has all gone. I don't even think about that now. And I've still got weight to lose, but that doesn't even enter my head now. And my friend actually went to, I know it's not about me, but my friend, she actually went to iFly at the weekend. And, you know, she said usually she'd sit on the sidelines, and she went and actually did it. So there's lots of things like that. What else do I do that I don't do? I think the general thing is having the energy to be on my feet all day. I'm on my feet, rushed off my feet.
When your daughter's swimming gala?
Oh yeah, so I helped, my daughter swims for the town, county, whatever, you know, like doing competitions and stuff. And I've started volunteering and helping, and it's literally, the long meets are like 3.5, 4 hours, and they get longer as she progresses. And I could never have volunteered because I couldn't stand up for that long. My back would hurt. Now I do it without even thinking about it, you know. And
what did she say to you on one of those days?
She was so proud of me, and she was so pleased that she could do it. And even things like, you know, like running to the car when it's cold, because one thing about this diet, I am always cold. Always. That's my one gripe. I'm always cold, and I'm always moaning about being cold. So if you watch my stories, you'll hear me moan about being cold. But she's like, Mummy, I've never seen you run. And it's like I do it without thinking now. And it's just, yeah, my daughter's very good at pointing out what I do now and what I didn't do before. So yeah, that's just everything, isn't it? That's like the best byproduct of bettering my life, basically. And when I think about my life before, it was just really sad. And it's not even, it was waking up in the morning thinking I've got to do X, Y, and Z, and dreading doing X, Y, and Z, not having the energy to do X, Y, and Z, feeling crap about myself because I didn't have the energy to do X, Y, and Z. So getting through to the evening, feeling crap about myself, needing a dopamine hit because I felt that rubbish about myself all day, and having no idea how to give myself that dopamine hit, you know, apart from food or wine. And I just realized that you just can't carry on doing that, can you? You just, it's not, and I always known that I'm better than that. And I always put it down to circumstance. But then you realize that nobody else can change it for you. And nobody's coming along, you know, to, you know, whisk you away and make it all better. No. You're the only one that can do it. But I couldn't do it on my own. I needed the support. And that's why I'm so passionate about the one-to-one diet, because there's so many people out there like me, and the support that you get with the one-to-one diet is absolutely unrivaled in this industry. And I will put my hand on heart and say that, because I've been there, I've done them all, and the support you get with this diet, you know, that is private, professional. Nobody else has to know that you're getting this support, but look what it can do for you, and look how it can just transform your life in a really, really short amount of time.
It's amazing, isn't it? And that's the thing, because like when you're on a weight loss journey, you don't want to be on it forever. You know, no one wants to be on it forever. And, you know, being overweight is, you know, quite a dark, isolate when you're depressed about being overweight, and it consumes all your thoughts about being overweight. It's much harder being depressed and overweight than it is being on a weight loss journey. So, you know, for every time that you think, oh, it's going to be a hard diet, think about how you feel right now when you're at your heaviest, and you're really, you know, anxious about going out, or, you know, not wanting to go to social events, having to think about buying extra theatre tickets, you know, whatever it is, you know, it's harder to be in that headspace, you know, day in, day out, having to preempt and kind of like, am I going to need this? And what's the backup plan? Is there an exit strategy? You know, all of this stuff. It is horrible. It is so, it's like being in a prison. And, you know, you've got to set yourself free, you know, for the amount of time that you could spend your life being overweight versus a diet where you could be, depending on how much you've got to lose, could be, you know, maintaining your goal weight in months, you know. It's like, you know, it just, you know, you can do it. And it's all with everything. The starting is always the hardest part. The kind of going, I need help. Yes, I want to lose weight, you know. Yeah, you might take time getting there, but once you've made that call, once you've made a plan, you will feel, even without even putting a product in your mouth, because you have decided to action, because you have decided to do something that is better than how you were feeling 10 minutes ago, having not decided. So whatever you do is better than what you were doing before, and it will change your life in ways that you can't imagine. The freedom that you will get when you feel that you are no longer a prisoner in your own body, you know, whether you can go into that changing room and try on that size 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, whatever your goals are. You know, no one is saying that we're all aspiring to be size 10 models. That is not the point. The point is to feel good, is to feel healthy and to get yourself in a positive mindset.
Yeah.
The scales are secondary, you know, they become literally, you know, something that we need to do, you know, for policies and procedures, but we are less governed by the scales and more about how it's having an impact. You know, I remember you saying that your daughter said, "Mummy, I can put my arms around your waist."
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
all of these non-scale victories, and I know we always like, you know, talk about non-scale, but they are so important. I had a slimmer of mine today that said to me, "Jo, I've been able to take off my wedding rings, which I haven't been able to do in 2 years." You know, most people want to get them on, she wants to get them off, but you know, it's kind of like it's just those tiny little things that you notice quite immediately.
And I always say to my slimmers, and I know one of my slimmers is watching, so hello. I can see her commenting, but
I can. She's sending lots of hearts.
Yeah. One of the first things I said to her was, you know, if you go to bed knowing, and this is one of my favorite things that I say to my slimmers, every day you can wake up, every day that you've stuck to plan, you wake up in the morning and you feel a sense of achievement that when you wake up in the morning, you're healthier than you were the day before. And that's one of the big things, you know, because those first weeks are really tough. You know, I always say to my slimmers, if you can get 3 weeks under your belt, then you are literally flying, because it becomes a routine then. And like, plan isn't hard for me now. Plan is just a way of life. I don't know. I've been doing it that long that I don't really know any different, and I'm looking forward to working up the steps and learning to develop a new relationship with food. You know, that person that ate like that before has completely gone, you know, and I've consciously, you know, nobody says that this journey is easy. It's a hard journey, and I've had to do a lot of work in my head on getting buzzes from other things. So, you know, increasing my serotonin with other things, you know, getting my dopamine hits with other things. But that's
do you get it by sharing your music playlist with me?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. But that is the thing, you know, it's the women supporting women, it's the how do you say it? Camaraderie. It's the camaraderie of everybody doing it. That's what I get my buzzes from now. That's what, you know, what I used to get from food and my gratification. I get that from that now. So sorry, you're all gonna have to bear with me, because that's how I get my kicks, is like just celebrating myself and celebrating how well I'm doing, because I'm bloody doing well, and I'm gonna celebrate that. So, and that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, why not? Like, sometimes we're very British, aren't we? About, you know, I was saying this to another simmer of mine. It's like we have to justify everything. Like, you know, compliments. Like, we're so bad. You know, I'm so bad at taking compliments. And like, someone will say to me, "Oh, you know, she was saying that a family had said, 'Oh, you've lost a lot of weight.' She goes, 'Oh yeah, I've still got loads to go then.' Rather than going, 'Thank you, it's so nice that you've, you know, given me a compliment," if we had to immediately follow it up with some kind of apology, or, you know, or if I said to her, you know, someone said to me, "Oh, that's a really nice jumper, Jo," and immediately go, "Oh, £12 from Asda," and I'm like,
yeah, you do that all the time.
Why do I have to do that? Why can't I just go, "Thank you very much, that's really kind of you"? But I always have to kind of like justify, almost / apologize, because you know, it's just weird, isn't it? And like, the thing is that we need to, you know, as women and men, or, you know, we just take a lot on our shoulders. And if someone, you know, pays us a compliment, or even if we reward ourselves for doing something good, we should just own it and go, right, you know what, yeah, I do deserve this. I have worked really hard. As long as we're not rewarding ourselves with you know, oh, this one's from ASOS, but you know what I mean. Someone's saying, "I thought that was a great jumper." Oh no, ASOS, but still probably in the sale. you know, we've got to reward ourselves, as long as it's not with donuts and a glass of wine. You know, I think it is really important, and you have worked hard, and you know, even if even if you've lost a stone, even if you've got like 8 stone to lose, it's all relative. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, you've got to stay in your own lane, focus on your goal. Don't worry what anybody else is doing around you, because they are not you. And that's the important thing. You know, we always talk about it. We hear this saying a lot, that comparison is the thief of joy. And it's true, because there is no one else who is in the exact same situation as you. So it'll be completely unfair on yourself to judge yourself against anybody else. So there's no point.
No.
You know?
No, it's about time, especially us as women, it's about time we started celebrating ourselves and celebrating the amazing jobs that we do every day, because the sooner we start doing that, the sooner we have the belief in ourselves to tackle these journeys that we have to tackle. Because, you know, we're amazing, aren't we? Look what, you know, busy mums in general, look what we have to put up with every day, and we get it done. And it's about time we started investing in ourselves and just realizing that we are worth it, and not being at the bottom of the pile, because I was at the bottom of the pile for far too long, and I am not going back there ever. Never.
Do your family, what have your family noticed about you?
Yeah, for the first time ever. So my dad is always very much, doesn't really say anything, doesn't have a comment. And for the first time ever, when he left, he came to see me for my birthday. He said, "Keep it up, Helen, you're doing amazing." Now this, like, you know, this is, my mum is like, my mum just thinks it's amazing. And for me, like, to start my own business, like, that would never have been me. I would never have had the time, the headspace, anything. Guess what? I have got the time to do it. Because
you want it. You want it.
And the negative, the negative, everything, all the negative mindset is just being lifted and is just going. And that's what's been holding me back forever, because if I can't even sort out what I'm eating, how I didn't have the confidence to do anything else. I can't even do the basics. But now I know that I can do these things and I can achieve my goals. Do you know, I was thinking, before I started this journey, I'd never really set a goal for myself and never achieved it in my life. Never.
Really?
Well, obviously I went to uni. I went to uni and stuff like that, but not like a personal goal, not like for me, not like for my health, not like for my weight. That's what I mean. You know, I'd never, like, you know, like people set fitness challenges, or you know, giving up stuff for Lent or New Year's or anything like that. I'd never ever done anything like that. I didn't see the point in it, you know, and I didn't understand the worth that I really was crap at developing myself, basically, because I was spending too much time trying to nurture and develop everybody else and look after everyone else. So, you know, that is the big thing that's changed with me, is that I'm learning to nurture myself and become the person that I want to be.
And what are your goals?
So I have a big goal for the 5th of November for convention. I want to be 11 stone. Well, no, I was looking at the calendar last night. That might be a bit of a feat, but in the 11s, shall we say that?
Right, in the 11s. Okay. So what's that? That's another 6.
Hold on, 6, yeah.
No, 6. Right. Okay. Where are we now? So we are,
I worked it out.
Like August, September, October.
Yeah.
6 months.
6, yeah. And I lose between 12 and 14 pounds a month every month. So yeah, it's doable. So yeah.
And can you remember what your goal was? One of your goals when we had our first consultation. Can you remember what it was?
No,
you
wanted
not. You wanted to do something on your own.
Oh, I wanted to go see the Northern Lights on my own. And yeah, hopefully I am gonna. Well, let's see, because lots has happened this year, and it's cost us lots of money.
Well, you've
But
got your business now, so that might pay for
yeah,
it.
something will be happening. My daughter is going skiing to Italy on the 7th of January next year for a week, and
Right.
I can't really go away because my son. I've never really been away from my children because my son's got autism, but he's an adult now, and my daughter's not very good at being left. So, but she's going skiing anyway. So I've got a week, and I am. If it's not going to see the Northern Lights, which I hope it is, I will be doing something that I could never do at a weight before. That's what I'm doing. Who knows?
Amazing. I am so excited. We've never met, have we not? We've never met.
No.
In the flesh.
It just doesn't even, that doesn't even seem possible.
No, I know.
And before Plan either, I wouldn't have understood how you could develop relationships with people that you'd never met. But I think we had a bit of a baptism of fire going through, literally.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Whereas, yeah. So when are we meeting? July the 8th, is it?
July the 8th. Yeah, we've got the Monopoly ball. We've got the Monopoly ball in Essex. So we're going to go to that. So that will be our first in the flesh meeting. I'll try not to cry. I'll try really hard not to cry. And
I'm not good at stuff like that. I'll be a mess.
Oh, don't. Honestly, I'm probably going to get fake tan. If you make me streak, I'll kill you. So, yeah, it's just, I've been really looking forward to this chat just because, I knew you'd be, not A, I knew you'd be nervous, but A, I knew you'd be brilliant at it. And I just, you know, just by judging from how many people have tuned in and, you know, made comments and stuff, you've just got such important, relevant stuff to say, and to reach out to so many people on all different levels, no matter what your weight and, you know, starting weight is just, you know, amazing. And like what we keep saying is that we just want these lives are always about giving hope. It's about, you know, showing people who are unsure about wanting to start Plan, whether it's for them. You don't have to decide now it's for you. You don't even have to decide, you know, you just need to have a consultation with a consultant and see whether it might be right for you. You know, don't make decisions based on what you read. Actually kind of flesh it out with a consultant, and you can choose, you know, you can have one, think, oh, maybe I like the plan, but maybe if it's this person, maybe it's that person. It doesn't matter. You've just got to find, you know, the right fit. But it's just so much about like giving hope for that it is possible. You don't have to be morbidly obese to do these plans. You know, you could have a stone to lose. It's all relative. And actually,
how
you know,
you feel.
It's
Yeah,
exactly
it's relative
how
to you and how you feel.
Yeah. And, you know, if we can just support, encourage, guide one person, you know, that, you know, it's a great plan. All the products are nutritionally balanced. You know, you're not going to get another meal replacement program that has consultants to support you with nutritionally beneficial products, you know, along with conventional food. And actually those people who are on Plan tend to save money because they're not buying the coffees, the donuts, the chocolate, the Sainsbury's, you know, the supermarket meal deals and all that stuff on top of their weekly shop. And when you do add it all up, you'll think, crikey, actually, you know, this is a really cost-effective plan because I'm not buying that other stuff, the takeaways, you know, the meals out and all that stuff, the Deliveroos, all adds up.
And that naturally, well, in my family, that has naturally fallen away. So we don't get takeaways. I mean, the kids, you know, after swimming, they'll get a McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah.
But But the family takeaways, they just don't happen because, you know, they just naturally don't happen anymore. We don't need them, you know, and I still love cooking for everyone. So it's just we do save a lot of money. It's not, the plan's not expensive. And for the support you get, which is the difference between success and failure. And that's why I'm passionate about it, because, you know, there's no other plans out there that you get this level of private support, you know, and I just want people to feel how I feel and how far I've come in 6 months. I want people to feel like that. I don't want people to sit there alone and think that they can't do it, because with our help, you really can do it, and we can get there.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see you at convention in your, you know, in your goal weight, or, you know, well, actually, do you know what? I'm going to leave it there. I can't wait to see you at convention. But I just think that you've been an amazing slimmer. And I think that, you know, slimmers, the consultants are there to advise and guide slimmers. We've been trained to do that. You know, you're not buying some random product off the internet and don't know what you're doing and how often, or there's no medical backup or that. We have all of that stuff. You know, we're trained to support you. We are on constant training and development programs to make sure that your journey and your experience is the best it can possibly be. We as consultants want to make sure we are delivering the best service, the best experience with our knowledge combined with what head office offer. You know, we have a medical team, you know, that any question that we have relating to any dieter, if we're unsure. To me, that is probably the most significant thing about being on the one-to-one diet, is that, you know, yes, it's a very low calorie diet, so there are going to be some restrictions as to what step you can go on, but it doesn't stop there. It's got the backup of the medical team, so that, you know, if there are any, you know, issues or whatever's raised, you can, we as the consultants can reach out to the medical team and ask those queries on your behalf. And that for me gives me huge reassurance in the products and the plan, and just kind of like, this is, you know, this is an established, well-known, respected brand, and we have a responsibility to carry that through in our service.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, it speaks for itself, because once you've done a week on plan, the difference that you feel in literally 7 days is unreal. It's unreal, you know, and we see that time and time again. It completely speaks for itself. And I'm never going back to it. So
amazing. I could talk all night. Well, I know that we'll probably be voice noting after this anyway, but we've done an hour already. Amazing. So if anybody has any questions or would like to find out more information, please do message Helen, message me. We'll get back to you if you know, want to think about going on plan, or more about becoming a consultant. You know, we're happy to answer any of those questions. Thank you so much for everybody that's joining. It's so nice to see new and familiar faces. Yeah, so really thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Helen, for being gorgeous.
Thank you, and you're not so bad yourself, Jo.
Right then, have a lovely evening, everybody, and we'll see you next. Bye.
Bye.